And I am proud, by the way, of that all the children get the benefit from those things, from the sacrifices going on the road when I didn't want to be on the road and leave my family and all that. So she comes over and I said, I literally had peace signs, flashing peace signs. I said, hey, peace. I said, let's go to the Maui vibe. I kept saying, let's go to the Maui vibe, thinking I could bring her out of this rage. No, opposite. She pulls out her phone. I'm going to send this to the police. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. And she starts videoing me with peace signs. Well, there goes your regret of calling the police. She's now going to call the police with me flashing peace signs. But what she sees, I think, is a big giant guy coming at her. She doesn't see peace. She thinks, oh my God, this guy's threatening me. I believe that must be what it is, because she disassociates and turns into this person. I'm going, police, what? I finally walked away. And I do get intense, when she does these walk away things and run away things, scratching her ears, whatever she does. It's unbelievable. And I keep going. I'll go, please stop, please stop. And I turn into this, guy who's, please, 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 come back. Stop. I'm here. It's okay. No, I don't think she ever once, and it happened dozens and dozens of times, where she does the runaway thing and completely leaves her body traumatized. She calls them trauma responses, but never has dealt with the trauma response, never dealt with where it came from, never dealt with healing. She's been to some frauds and stuff like that. She literally told me, oh, they diagnosed me. They said, I'm not a narcissist. I don't need any help. That's what she said. Don't need any help, but you're going to do these actions. I did a video of the kids film me in the front seat driving, talking about solutions. She takes that video and sends it to their therapist, compromising their therapy. Both our children, sends it to the therapist to have me reported for child endangerment because I was talking and driving. I didn't have a phone. This is how far she goes. And it happened, by the way. Here we go. Child services. So I'm arrested now. Police, all this child service. It's crazy time. This is due to being in a cult. Normal people don't behave in this way. And it's one after another. When I get knocks on doors, I'm assuming the worst. I'm assuming something's going to happen. It happened before with the wife before that, police, and just those kids have PTSD to this day growing up like that. And I'll do anything not to have that happen again to these two. And so far, the other ones were young and impressionable, and they really bought into that venom that would come from their mother and the resentment and the hatred that came at me, and they were affected by it. My responses, they were also affected by. I say, please write a letter, tell the courts what the truth is. So now they're caught in the middle. There's that caught in the middle thing that drives me crazy. Of course they're caught in the middle, but they're caught in the middle by first, it starts with the anger and rage being put upon dad. That's where it starts. That's in the middle. They're now in the middle of toxicity and pain and anger and angst and anxiety and cutting off and violence. They're in the middle of that. My response in having them tell the truth is not putting them in the middle. It's trying my best to get truth be told. That's what I was talking about when I was driving. This is just really frustrating to be on the other side of that. I don't want to be a victim. I just want to be in a truthful space and have her get to the truth, have the children understand the truth is the most important thing. Honesty, integrity, honoring your word, commitments, vows, all those things are really important. And especially if she's going to be a coach, that's what this wellness grifter community does. They all become coaches. I don't know what the hell they're coaching, because she has nothing to share. She's never made any money. Hasn't had any progress. She failed marriage. She bailed on the marriage, didn't work on it, didn't go to the right people, to make it work. It's all failure. So what are you coaching? So my tip is, I've been advised to make tips. Uncover as much as you can, unearth, and look below the surface of what they're telling you. Anyone, peel it back. Look at them, feel their energy. If they're running, they're hiding, and they're hiding something. And many, many things were hidden from me. Many, many, many things. Too many to count. She started at the end. Another blow was, I don't know how it happened, but she's so secretive. But somehow I got her cell phone and she let me read this text exchange. I don't know how it happened that she let me, or she sort of. Then she dove for the phone once she saw that what I was reading from this father, this local father, we'll call him Minio. So he is the ex-husband of one of her best friends who hates me, who believed all of the abuse. She believed it all, wouldn't talk to me at school things. And I used to say to when we were married, I go, she's so mean to me. I don't think the kids should see that either. She's copped this resentment. We'll call her Ginny. So Ginny, mean face. Oh my God. It's like this disdain, because she's believing that she's protecting her friend and she should get out and all that kind of stuff. And I guess I would do the same thing. If I assumed that what she was telling her was true, I'm the abuser, so you got to get out. Better go to anyway. She has an exchange with this guy, the ex-husband of Ginny, and he's calling her babe. And I'll protect you, get you away from him. How's it going with him? Did you get out yet? It's horrible. I'm reading this stuff. I'm going, who's he talking about? It's because that's what she presented to him. Please save me, just like I saved her. She lived in a tree house with no running water or whatever. I guess I saved her too. So she goes to someone else, plays the victim. He plays the conquering hero. And he's calling her babe. What's this? I said to her, and she dove for the phone. Once I started reading, I said, what's this? He's calling you babe. And saying he's going to get you a house, a protective house, a safe house. What's that? And I know one. He said, and it was another gut punch, this guy. I played with him. I've done paintball with him, and our kids play. We all met in baby class 14 years ago. So she has a group of those moms. They all hang out together. And big fan of all of them until they turned to protect their friend. I get it. I guess they're just protecting their friend because they believe that this is all true. You'd think that they would ever say, oh my God, this beautiful Lotus is a liar, a pathological liar. There's no shot that they're going to believe that. This is a problem in our societies. We don't want to believe, so then we don't. Go into denial and push this away and then blame and go after the person and all that. This guy went after me, acting like I was these things. And he found her a safe house. So 2 different times she moved into a safe house to get away. And it was like costly, these Airbnbs. I didn't know where she was. I didn't know where the house was. And then she popped back to the house again. And I'll tell you one more thing. No, I'm going to save it. Remind me to tell you when the big blow happened. I reached out to that guy, by the way. Since then, I reached out to Jeannie and I said, hey, you might want to talk to her. This is when it first started. And they're just blame me because I never liked you and all this kind of stuff. This is pretty nasty stuff. I don't know why, what I ever did. Again, people think I have a big ego and a big guy and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, they make assumptions. They don't know that I'm really giving, really loving, really supportive. And that's been my whole life. That's what I do. They don't know that. They get an interpretation from someone else that they believe and then work from that assumption. So the tip is, don't work with assumptions. Uncover as much as you possibly can. Don't put your belief in people. That's what she did. She believed in this guru type. So I'm going to get to the other story, but I am going to read you a few notes before I end this. These are unsolicited notes that I got from people in private message on Facebook. There's about 30 of them, all issuing concern. They still do. This has been going on for a couple of years now. You know, questioning what she's doing. Is she making any money with this? She does these dances and all these, you know, just copy. She literally copies this woman. It's just sick. She copies her exact cadences and pauses and capitalizations and all that. She just copies her. And I would love you someday, if you do find out who this is, just go look for yourself. This one guy says, a living hell you're experiencing from Lotus's descent into feminazi cult she got herself sucked into. Unfortunately, there is little you can do that will cause her to snap out of it. That is sad. She's firmly in the clutches of this broke nutbag, was obviously tapped into something going on inside of Lotus that made her a prime target for this sort of spiritual scam. I don't know what you are being accused of, but I do know that this woman is a full-blown narcissist just by scrolling down her Facebook page a bit. Nothing but pics of herself, clearly intended to convince other women how happy she is since abandoning her family. I recall when I first became Facebook friends with Lotus that most of her posts were a lot like this too. I didn't judge it at the time, but they seemed to have a kind of a hard sell for whatever it was Lotus was trying to market, exploiting her own innate health and beauty to attract potential customers. At least that was the impression I got. So now I know where all that is coming from, and it's extremely saddening to learn that it may well mean the end of your marriage. Yes, it did. As for what to do about that, well, no amount of posting on Broke's Facebook page is going to make a dent in such a person who's obviously gone over the rails. She's a cult leader. And just like, he said this, not me, by the way, he's just like Trumpists. A lot of people believe people are in the cult of Trump. She sees a completely different reality than the rest of us. I got sucked into a fundamentalist thing at 13, another cult, a huge one. They prey upon young people whose parents aren't giving them the love they crave. And He talks all about that himself and his thing. And he's right. I think you have to look at your situation like this. Lotus has been brainwashed by a cult, and you won't be able to talk the cult leader into releasing her so long as the cult has something from Lotus it strongly desires, and that is the case. She's in the downline. She's controlled. She uplifts and makes posts about this narcissist leader. That's what she gets out of it. She gets the money. She gets money from the scamming that Lotus has done. That may just be her devotion, but in wealth generation scams, and that's in quotes, it's mostly cash. This is Broke's Achilles heel, and in my humble opinion, you should immediately cut Lotus off from any source of your income that she would use to continue paying tribute to this nutbag. If Broke doesn't turn her away from that, then it's about Lotus's devotion to her guru, and that's much harder to break. Many relationships are based on codependence. Normally, I stay out of such conflicts, but I wanted to share my thoughts with you as well as my support. Always remember that your life is not about your marriage, nor your kids, nor your career. It's simply about the experiences you are having as you and the rest of us meander through the duality illusion within countless levels of pretending that we are not God. This is why human life is so imperfect, because we provide the pretense of imperfection that God requires in order to understand God's infinite and timeless perfection of being. We're the yin to God's yang, providing the required balance of the existence equation. So whatever suffering you find yourself experiencing in life, embrace it fully, because to do otherwise is to deny the only moment that ever exists, and that only prolongs the suffering. As they say in 12-step programs, grant yourself the serenity to accept the things you cannot change, the courage to change what you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Craig, we both know that